For countless men, the character of James Sterling in the series Madison Avenue represents the ultimate version of self-assurance. But what most people fail to recognize is that true confidence operates on two distinct levels. There's the outer layer, the signals you broadcast to the world that make negotiation, connection, and attraction feel effortless. Then there's the inner layer, the genuine sense of ease you carry in your bones regardless of the room you're standing in. In this breakdown, we're going to examine what this character can teach us about both dimensions of presence, and more importantly, how mastering each one can shift you from hesitation to complete composure in virtually any scenario. Let's start with the most visible layer, the physical presentation. Yes, the tailored clothing and classic grooming help, but what's far more instructive is his unforced posture. Notice how he occupies space. He rarely sits symmetrically. He'll drape an arm over an adjacent chair, stretch out, make himself comfortable in environments where others tense up. There's actual science behind this. Expansive postures don't just signal confidence to others, they actually trigger hormonal shifts that make you feel more grounded. If your body can convince your mind you belong, why would you make yourself small? He also moves through rooms with a sense of entitlement that's never aggressive. It's ownership without arrogance. He doesn't scurry. He doesn't hover at the edges. He enters spaces like he's been invited, even when he hasn't. For you, this doesn't mean taking over a boardroom. It means simple adjustments. When standing, plant your feet roughly shoulder-width apart. When seated, lean back occasionally instead of perching forward like you're about to flee. Let your arm rest along the back of an empty chair next to you, not blocking it, just indicating you're settled. Another subtle signal he uses, making others work for his attention. In meetings with potential clients, instead of leaning in eagerly, he'll lean back. Instead of nodding at every word, he'll remain still, almost detached. This flips the natural power dynamic. The person across from him finds themselves trying harder to earn his engagement. It's counterintuitive, but effective. His eye contact follows a similar pattern. Early in conversations, he's often slightly aloof. His gaze drifts. He doesn't track every word with hungry intensity. There's a psychological principle at work here. People crave the attention of those who don't immediately give it. Winning over someone who seems indifferent feels like an achievement. And then, when he's ready to land a key point, when he needs someone to truly hear him, he locks in. Full, direct, unwavering eye contact. That shift from distant to focused makes the moment land with 10 times the force. It says, without words, what I'm about to say matters. The key takeaway here isn't to ignore people to seem cool. It's to calibrate. Use your attention strategically. When you're making your essential points, dial in completely. Let your eyes sharpen. Let your focus narrow. That intensity signals certainty, and certainty is magnetic. Now, everything we've covered so far can be adopted relatively quickly. But there's a more challenging dimension to this. What you choose not to do. Watch him in high-stakes moments and you'll notice he doesn't fidget. He doesn't tap, shift weight, clear his throat. That absence of nervous movement speaks louder than any gesture. This brings us to the next layer, non-reactivity. Genuine pressure makes our bodies want to move, to explain ourselves. But when you can remain still while everything around you is charged, you communicate that you're not threatened. You're operating from a place above the chaos. Consider a scene where two men approach his wife. Instead of reacting with anger, he plays along with calm. His stillness makes them look small. That same quality is vital for anyone in a leadership position. When things go wrong, people look to whoever remains steady. Your ability to hold your emotional expression in check doesn't mean you don't feel the pressure. It means you're choosing to process it internally. Silence becomes a superpower here. When you're faced with a difficult question, most people feel an urgent need to fill the void. But pausing, taking a genuine beat to think, creates an impression of control. It buys you time to formulate a better response. In one scene, a client rejects his concept. He doesn't argue. He sits quietly for nearly 20 seconds before speaking. That pause communicates that his next words are considered. We demand immediate answers from ourselves while accepting thoughtful pauses from others. The lesson: slow down, take a breath, collect yourself. The next layer of internalized confidence is something that sounds paradoxical, not trying to convince anyone. We picture a master salesman as persuasive. But there's a difference between being persuasive and trying to force a specific outcome. He often makes his most effective sales by being willing to walk away. He'll present his idea, and if the client hesitates, he'll start packing up. That move forces the other party to reconsider. They're not being chased, They're being screened. If you walk away with genuine calm, it seems we're not aligned. I wish you the best. That's power. That's self-respect. And it often makes people reconsider. Now, we arrive at the deepest layer, the foundation beneath everything else, the belief that you will be okay regardless of outcome. When you internalize that, confidence becomes automatic. But how do you develop that belief? Not through affirmations, through evidence. You build it by doing exactly the things you think you won't survive. Socially courageous things, telling the truth when it might cost you something, showing vulnerability when it would be easier to hide. In the final arc, the character reaches a breaking point. For years, he's lived under an assumed identity, and piece by piece, he starts dismantling it. He tells a client the raw truth. The deal collapses, he loses his job. This is the deepest layer of confidence. It's not about looking unshakable. It's about knowing, at your core, that you will be okay no matter what. Later, he confesses his deepest failures to a trusted colleague. He admits to living under a name that isn't his. This frees you to tell the truth, to show your real self, to risk rejection because you know you won't reject yourself. When you reach this level, everything else becomes easier. You stopped searching for the right words. You trust that your authentic words will find their mark or they won't. You stop trying to control how others perceive you. That lack of need makes people more drawn to you. Combine this deep internal anchor with the outer skills, the posture, the non-reactivity, and every interaction shifts. Conversations become less about proving yourself and more about connection. Now, if you're looking for a structured path, I've created Presence Protocol. It's a 6-week guided system to make genuine confidence your natural state. If you're ready to start moving through the world with grounded self-assurance, learn more through the link in the description. Thousands of people have transformed how they show up. Either way, you are okay. And you will be okay. That's not just a closing thought. That's the whole premise. If you found value in this breakdown, please hit like for Winds of Thought. It helped more people find these ideas. I'll see you in the next one.